So how do you feel opening up more on social media, knowing that you have friends or peers or even family watching?
Yeah, well, yeah, for me, it's like, so what? Like, so what if they're
Uh-huh.
watching? I'm here to
I love
pave
that.
the way, because it's it feels constricting and it doesn't feel good, right? When we're constantly thinking, oh, what will my family think? What will my friends think?
Mhm.
You're doing not yourself a favor or anyone else a favor by shrinking yourself, playing small. So yeah, I'm like, so what? I guess.
I love that. I love that
Yeah.
you've gotten there because it's still tough for me. I still, even though I talk so much about how to stop caring about what other people think of you, there's so many layers to that. And I do feel like there are certain things I don't want to share online because I care about, oh, what if my family sees this or something like that. So what are your thoughts or your advice for people who are paralyzed by that fear?
Yeah. I love this topic so much. So the best thing I would always say is do that thing, face the fear and do it anyways. But when in doing that, become aware of what particular judgments you are afraid of or what
Mm,
judgments you hold on to. So let's say you post something, let's say sensual, and then your family texts you and they're like, why did you do that? Don't be like too much or something. Let's say too much comes up and you hold on to that, you're triggered. Great, perfect, amazing. Triggers are your best friend. So
yeah, love it.
become aware of it. Why are you holding on to it? Because the things you hold on to are the things that you likely believe to be true about yourself. Because Eileen, if I told you you're an egg, that's going to just go over your head in one ear, out the other, because you know you're not a freaking egg. But if I said, Eileen, you're too much, ooh, and you're triggered, that could trigger you.
Right.
Probably because you may be believing that part of that is true about you, but you're not accepting it, you're not owning it. And that's why you're triggered and
Mhm.
holding on to it. Whereas you're not going
Yeah.
to care if someone calls you a frog, right? So the things you hold on to are things that there's some work to do there. Why are you holding
Yeah,
on to it?
it's because you slightly believe in it. And so let's get to that part because there are, I like to say that too, triggers like are your biggest lesson. But
Mm,
say you recognize that you have a trigger, then what? What do you do with it?
yeah, then, well, go within and ask yourself, why am I triggered? Where are you feeling it in your body? That can be really powerful. And
Mhm.
when did it first come up? You can go back to that core memory and see and
Mm.
understand, okay, when did you learn it wasn't safe to be this, to be too much or too emotional,
Mhm.
like whatever it is.
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
And notice the stories you're then telling yourself about that particular trait that you're not owning. And then it's up to you to start owning it, to humanize yourself as well. We can't be light without owning our darkness, right? We've got to own all parts of ourselves. So there's no inherently bad traits, I believe. It's the meaning we give to them. And so, for example, I remember it was such a cool thing I went through a few months ago. I did like a shadow work session with a mentor, and then we started talking about what I was triggered by, the haters and stuff, because I was holding on to a lot. And then we're
Mm,
talking about being fake and how I was so triggered by it, like people calling me fake.
mm,
And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? How am I being fake? Like I just really held on to it. And she asked me, well, what does fake mean to you? And I said, fake means being dishonest, just like dishonesty. And then she asked me, have you been dishonest? And I was like, oh, 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 okay. And I started touching my eyes, and she's like, follow that reaction. So I started touching my
uh-huh.
eyes. And then I realized, well, the fakeness, quote unquote, that I saw within me was my dishonesty, which was me showing up as a filtered version of myself. I wasn't being completely
Mm,
honestly myself because I was so afraid of people not liking me. And so
right.
that was the reflection I saw. And then, so that was a huge breakthrough for me. I started to love and accept that part of me that was trying to be dishonest to protect myself, to stop
Mm,
judging that part of me, but just observing it and seeing it as self protective behavior. And then, of course, showing up more honestly as myself. But then a week later, or a few days later, I I woke up one day and my eyes were so puffy I could barely open them. And it's
uh-huh.
so interesting because I was touching them during our session. And that was like where where I was feeling it in my body. And so I feel like through breaking through that shadow, my body was like detoxing, and like suddenly my eyes went
Wow.
puffy. I couldn't see for a day. It was really random. Never experienced that before.
Oh,
So it's
yeah.
funny, your body will go through things as well when you do this work.
Yeah.